Hey, I'm Jake Thomas, aka Matt McGuire.
And I'm Davida Williams, aka Claire Miller.
And this is episode, what are we doing?
20.
6? It's episode 6. Episode 6 of the Living Lizzie, a Very McGuire podcast. And today we're doing things a little bit out of order.
Yeah.
We're doing episode 20, Educating Ethan. And I promise you there's a good reason for that. Trust me. But this episode was it's okay. So what you got Ethan Kraft that needs tutoring.
Yeah.
Because he's failing math.
Mm-hmm. He's getting an F.
Yeah, and Gordo has a need of getting a new stereo, so he's gonna tutor.
He needs money. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Matt is he and Oscar, who Oscar is.
I love Oscar's character.
Oscar's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen a ton of Oscar so far. I think this may be the first time that we've actually seen Oscar.
Yeah, it is.
They decide to become superheroes in the neighborhood, and they just end up making the neighborhood more dangerous.
Causing havoc. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. First off, what was your favorite subject in school? Did you have a subject that you were really good at that you could actually tutor?
I was never a tutor, but I was in AP math and science.
Okay.
AP geometry, which was so difficult.
Yeah.
I was in that actually while I was shooting Lizzie, and so I would miss a lot of school.
Impossible.
And yeah, it was difficult. But yeah, math and science were I got good grades.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What
good.
was your subject?
I feel like it was maybe science as well. I was pretty good in math too. I was pretty decent.
Yeah.
I feel like at those kind of subjects too. I remember that actually classmates I would during math I would have my hand down behind me, and anytime the teacher called on them, I'd be making hand signals to tell them the answers if they were struggling.
I was the opposite of that. If I was taking a test, I was one of those that would
Oh, okay. All right. Keep yourself. I was more giving to the community of the classroom. All right.
I was like, you're not going to cheat off me. No.
And then, so for Matt's side of things, if you had one superpower, what would it be?
Mind reading.
Mind reading?
Yeah. I want to know what people are thinking.
I knew you were going to say that.
Did you really?
No.
I don't know. I don't really need to fly. I'm scared of heights.
Yeah.
I do, I want to know people's motives and what's going on. Yeah.
All right. Tricky. That's tricky. I would say, invincibility.
Oh, you can't die?
Yeah, you can't die, because also the things that come with that are, okay. Invincibility or what's the other version of invincibility where you can't be hurt at all? Because invincibility, you could still feel pain. I feel like you just don't die.
Yeah.
What's
immortal?
Immortal, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, because the thing is, if you're totally Superman level invincible, you can just walk through lava.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yeah,
you can go and do stuff that I can go walk the bottom of the ocean. I can't die. I'm gonna explore stuff. I'll go to space. I don't need a suit.
But would you want to be alive that long?
Why not?
Everyone else around you is not alive anymore.
Yeah, sure, but maybe I'll go and explore the universe or something. I'll come back in a couple thousand years.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. But in this one, Matt is just, I don't know what Matt's superpower is. He has a shirt that's stuffed with padding.
Yeah, he's just terrorizing the neighborhood.
Yeah, and then Incredible Oscar just has a unibrow. That was his superpower. The doorbell. I'll get that.
Okay. I wonder who's here.
Hello.
Hello.
Look who's here. I didn't expect you to.
Look who I found.
Hi.
Look, he was at the door.
Hello.
It's so good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Everybody, it's Clayton Snyder,
Hi.
aka the Ethan Kraft.
Yeah. Hi.
How have you been the past 20 years?
Oh man, 20 years.
20. Let's not
I know, I'm
use
sorry. I
the
won't date us.
number thing. That hurts.
Okay.
The youngest
youngest
one
in the
on
group.
the show.
I've been fantastic.
You look great.
Thank
Yeah,
you so much. You
yeah.
guys as well. You're glowing. You're glowing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's vitamin C serum. I'm single-handedly
Send
funding
me your referral link.
I will.
affiliate
That'd
link.
be great.
Thank
That'd
you.
be great.
Thank you. We sponsored yet?
Vitamin C, Milano CC. You wanna throw us some stuff?
No, I'm great. Well, I mean, what's the skinny? I could just go top down, or do you guys have specific questions?
Okay. I mean, first off, you're a dad now, which is great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, not just a zaddy.
Not just a zaddy.
A dad.
A daddy.
A daddy.
It's interchangeable.
Yeah.
And how old is your?
He is nearly 8 months old.
I told him earlier. I was like, so that means you haven't slept in 8 months. But he said he actually sleeps.
It sleeps. He sleeps. He's I tell people he's a very merciful child, and a combination of, I'm sure, his genetics and just personality and demeanor, in conjunction with a book that was referred to us by a dear friend of mine. I think it's called 12 Hours Every Night by 12 Weeks, something like that.
And it works.
Yeah.
I do also like that he slipped in that he was genetically superior.
I'm just not going to say that, like, this is the way to go and the thing to do, and if it doesn't work, then it's like your baby or you as a parent.
Your mileage
it probably
may vary.
is, but I have to give myself that out. But for sure, like, it's going to work easier for some and less for others. But
yeah,
he's a chill boy.
I don't have that problem with my cats. They put me to sleep.
Yeah, my dogs sleep. I don't know.
Our cat does not sleep. Our cat is a gargoyle.
Oh.
It's a howler monkey.
Oh.
It's actually a Siamese. But it's a 19-year-old deaf Siamese.
19?
Yeah.
Wow.
Turns 20 in October.
Oh, my God.
That's great.
His name is Groucho.
Right. That fits then.
And how would you impersonate your cat?
Well, okay, so T-Max sounds like meow, meow. And then when I have Tuna, it's just that, but just like really loud. And then Ellie just goes...
Is Ellie the one that hides?
Ellie is the one you will never see. T-Max will probably... I'm actually surprised that T-Max hasn't come out and said hello to you yet.
I know.
But yeah, no, Ellie, she hides anytime anyone is new.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, might get to see them. Groucho in the middle of the night. Be more of a... I'll back away from the microphone.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, wow. That's pleasant.
That'll be Groucho.
I take it the baby really likes that too.
Well, our theory is that because he got to listen to Groucho through the womb,
he's used to it?
He's grown an immunity to it. And it actually doesn't wake him up.
Okay.
Which is in itself a miracle.
That's great.
Could be a comforting sound.
Almost. It just reminds him of good, simpler times.
Yeah. You know how the sound soothers for babies? If you can just get that on a loop.
Yeah.
Or just Groucho soother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If there's a way to just make that isolated to his 5-foot radius of his crib, then that'd be fine.
Just a little bubble. Little sound bubble of Groucho sounds. All right, so it has been a very long time, but Clayton, do you remember auditioning?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about it?
Yeah.
How was auditioning for this?
Some of it. There's so much that I don't remember, but I just remember little fragments of time.
Yeah.
The only thing that I really remember is that it was a show for Disney. I was only like in the biz for like a year and a half or something like that before getting the audition for the show, and it was a show for Disney, which is exciting, but of course it's you don't know what it is really because it's not out yet. It's just a title at that point, and it's called What's Lizzie Thinking?
Yep,
right.
That's right, the original title.
It's called What's Lizzie Thinking, and this character called Ethan Kraft, and he was kind of this bully type character to start with, and the audition, I think I would get coaching on auditions at that time too. My sweet mother would drive me from Orange County up into LA for all auditions and things like that, or coaching or classes and what have you. Bless your heart. And I'm pretty sure I booked the role because I didn't know how to read the word Gordon. And I for some reason, call it a creative instinct to call him Gordon.
And that's why throughout the entire series you call him Gordon.
For the rest, it was Gordon, and it wasn't I wouldn't say it was a choice so much as inspiration. I just didn't know to call him Gordon.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And there we go. I knew I had something because when I said, "What's up, Gordon?" and the casting director and whoever else was in the room started laughing pretty hard.
You're like, what?
Because I don't know how many other kids said it that way. So kind of caught him off guard. So you hear that, actors take big choices.
Yeah. Take a chance.
Yeah. Was it at Renmar Studios or was it at Disney?
Oh, I don't know where it was.
Okay. Because Davida was saying that, so her auditions were at Renmar.
Where we shot.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
It very well could have been.
Okay.
I don't remember. There was one audition, I think, with a casting director and their assistant, perhaps, and then the second was with director, writers, producers, bigger room.
Robin Lippin, who was our
Robin,
casting.
Stan probably was there.
Yep.
Stan Rogow, and then they weren't even sure if they're going to use the character for a minute, and then it was another 2-week waiting period to find out if they're going to use the character.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because it was, the starting of Clayton, or the starting of Ethan Kraft was very different.
Origins.
The origin is very...
Origins.
Because originally, we had the heartthrob guy we were talking about earlier was Danny Kessler.
Yeah.
Who Danny
He and I
Kessler...
were bros.
We
hung
okay.
out. Yeah.
Really?
Not like before, like on the during filming and stuff like that. I think there were 1 or 2 episodes where we crossed over.
Yeah.
And we'd be playing like laser tag during lunch break on the set and stuff like that. And then one day he just didn't show up anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, "Where's my buddy?" and slowly I became him.
Yeah, which is so weird. So do you remember that transition period where because they had you as like a hip hop guy?
It felt so subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were from almost like Brooklyn at first. It sounded like the first 2 episodes. It was like this Brooklyn like hip hop guy.
Yeah, and then you just became conventionally attractive.
I don't know if that hair was No, it was very conventional. I think that a lot of that came from I was actually super into like. I came from a very Seal Beach, in my town, mostly white.
Yeah.
But I, for some reason, developed an affinity for hip hop and R&B culture and music, and I was really into WCW and WWF wrestling.
Yeah.
And I was really into like Rey Mysterio Jr. and these other guys who had this kind of like, this flair and this attitude about them, and I don't know what made me apply whatever that was to this character, because we were rewatching Educating Ethan this morning, my wife and I, and she looks over and she's like, "Is that kind of an accent?
Yes,
like, what is that?"
I was watching and I was like,
I don't know. I don't even remember putting because it's kind of thick.
It's it's
not subtle.
You have to remind me that you're from Orange County, because when I was watching it, I was like, New York?
It's a compliment. I think it's a compliment.
It is. You made a lot of great choices, I think. It was a memorable character.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I love that your wife picked it. She was like, the accent.
But later on,
she is an MFA in acting, so she'll notice everything.
But later on, it kind of got more subtle. I feel like definitely.
I feel like it died. Yes, I feel like with they would throw in like hip hop like music behind me. I think in a couple episodes, just really put all the color on it.
Yeah,
and then figure speech, and later on, like you said, conventional hot guy, and then it just became just regular kind of more. He went from like hip hoppy to more to surfery.
Yeah, he did.
I think
definitely.
There was this evolution that I think it was. The reason why is because I recognize that. As if I like analyzed it this way, I'm saying that I think it just became what it was because at first it was more about his attitude.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of a dumb guy with a lot of attitude.
Yeah.
Into just a dumb guy who is actually very lovable and cares a lot about his friends. I feel like the attitude dropped over time.
Yeah.
So maybe some of the accent went with it.
Yeah, maybe. Obviously, you still look very much like you did when you were a kid.
Well, hopefully some things have changed, but people will recognize me. Yeah.
So that's what I'm getting at. So I mean, how often do you still get recognized? Is it
how out and about I am? Since COVID and getting married and having a kid, and there's been less public scenery around there. But it's not uncommon.
Yeah. Davida and I were talking about the other day how even during COVID, like people were still recognizing us when we had masks on.
Yeah, it was very strange.
Which is so strange. But like people just have our faces seared into their brains from childhood.
Jake, with those eyes?
Yeah, with these eyes. Oh. Yeah.
The eyes and the hair.
There it is.
Give it away.
Yeah. But I have to know. Have you ever had any situation where getting recognized has because we went through this too. What is a circumstance that was it was weird? It was just like, this is a very weird time to be recognized, or a situation that just stands out and it's like, this is weird, or someone that recognized you that you thought was weird.
I'm sure my mind has done me a favor and deleted those.
Know that?
If I came back in a month, I might be like, dude, Jake, I gotta tell you, I just remembered. But I do remember that there was a time, like I said, I grew up in Orange County, had a couple buddies, and we were AP annual pass holders of Disneyland in Anaheim, and we'd go to California Adventure, actually, but specifically to go see this Irish band called the Fenians play
in Disney?
Disney's California Adventure.
They're a regular band.
That's how we would use our passes.
Just so they're the regular band, house band of Disney California Adventure. Is that what we're talking about here?
Well, no. I think they were their own thing, and they had like I don't know what they call it,
a residency.
A residency.
Yeah.
This is a very Clayton thing.
Yeah. You
oh,
wouldn't have
whiskey,
seen
you're no
that?
devil to me. You're more a saint. I still know all their stuff, man. Oh yeah, they're great. And we'd go maybe I felt like every couple weeks just to go and hang out and just listen to the music and go on a couple rides and then go home. And all of a sudden I would start to get recognized there. Go figure, a kid on a Disney show getting recognized at Disneyland. And I would sign a couple autographs and things like that and say hi and take pictures. And then over time, there'd be more and more people coming up to a point where I think there was a time where we were on the Disneyland side of things. And, those walkways going through certain lands are pretty wide. Yeah. And like nearly the full thing being taken up.
Oh, boy.
Of people encircling me, asking to sign their shoes, their tickets, their shirts, whatever. Yeah. And I was happy to do that. But I then understand that if I decide to go to Disneyland, I'm not going to go there for myself because I'm not going to get to do anything. I'll be going to sign autographs and take pictures with people, which is, like, again, not a bad thing, but I just have to weigh, like, well, I just wanted to go hang out.
Did they ever offer you, like, free tickets?
I was going to say, did you get the pass for free?
Nothing.
Oh.
Really? God.
Nothing.
So I got free, like 4 free passes a year.
Oh, cool.
Up until like age 20. And they were like, "You're not on the Disney Channel anymore. We can't give you these passes." And I was like, "Oh,
that's when you came back.
Okay,
and said, nothing.
I made this network."
Yeah. Well, but okay, sure. But damn, that sucks because like I feel like also if you're at Disneyland and you're causing a commotion, there should be staff there to help corral that.
I mean, guest star character on a
still,
show. Like,
still.
I don't know if I was warranting that.
I feel like a phone call would have gone along. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you're totally right. I thankfully never felt in danger.
Okay, all right. Well, Disneyland is those 8-year-olds. They're dangerous.
There are plenty of adults at Disneyland.
Are you still going in your adult? Do you bring your baby, or he's too young?
He's a little too young still.
Okay.
Yeah, that whole thing's interesting of like bringing your kids on experiences, and things like that. Yeah, because it's not for them,
right?
Yeah,
People say like, look, we brought you to Disney. Like my parents are still like, we took you to Disney World. I'm like, I don't remember.
I was 2 years old.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that, and I don't remember.
Yeah.
So haven't done that yet, but we have traveled with him. But again, out of our own volition or necessity or desire, but certainly not for him. But we brought him to Vancouver at the end of last year for film. My wife Allegra at her show Upload, on Amazon Prime. So they filmed the 3rd season.
Sweet,
amazing.
To come out at the end of this year, fall 2023. So he was with us for 2.5 months over there.
That's great.
We just had like
Vancouver's
cross country.
awesome.
Yeah, we were at the Royal Sutton Place.
I stayed at Sutton
We stayed there
Place.
for a few nights for sure.
You did? Did
Then
you
we're
really?
at Airbnb.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, couldn't believe it. Like we didn't realize that's where we stayed.
Yeah.
But that's where we stayed for a couple nights.
I stayed there last year, and everyone was like, I told my friends, I had never heard of the place.
Yeah.
And my friend goes, where are you staying? I said, Sutton Place. She said, oh, Slutton Place.
Oh, what?
Because apparently
What?
that's where all the actors stay and like hook up, and like people know actors.
Location ships.
People know actors are staying there,
Locationships.
and they hang out in the lobby at the bar, and like you meet
Just
women
waiting.
there. Yeah.
Vancouver has a very special connection.
Educating Ethan right now.
Yeah. So Vancouver has a very special connection to the Lizzie McGuire franchise in that everyone always asks me like, how was it in Rome? How'd you like filming in Rome? And I was like, well, I didn't go to Rome. You went to Rome. You got to go to Rome for like how long? A week or 2 weeks?
I was there for like a month.
Really?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so then they actually
They
filmed
only
there.
used me for a week.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
there for a month.
He got to go to Rome to actually film, but then the rest of the time, for 3 months or something,
It was a
Rome
minute.
was
Yeah.
Vancouver on a soundstage.
Yeah.
I never got to go, but we stayed at the Royal Sutton Place.
Sutton Place.
Yeah.
And they would have those gingerbread monstrosities out in the lobby.
Oh gosh.
Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, and then the one thing that I remember the most about Vancouver was just playing Super Smash Bros. Because Clayton and I would
Roy
just
and Mark.
nothing
Mark,
but play
man.
Super
Team
Smash
Roy and
Bros.
Mark.
On GameCube.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'd be Martha, I'd be Roy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Oh,
good times.
That
Great
is that
times.
sounds
Good
fun.
times.
Great times. I think that probably initiated with Adam Lambert though.
Yeah.
Going to his room on the show set and playing PlayStation in his
GTA.
room.
We would play
He had
Grand Theft Auto.
PlayStation on
Spider-Man.
set?
Yes,
I
he
had
had
no
in his
idea.
room, and all the dudes would go in there,
Yeah.
and we
Me,
take
Adam, and Jake
turns,
would
just like
hang out and play
how
video
long
games.
can we survive on Grand Theft Auto, just blowing stuff up, and that's
Grand
all we
Theft
do.
Auto is like a very crazy game.
Well, I mean, Adam was the older one
Yeah,
of the
he
whole
was,
bunch,
yeah.
so like he was like oftentimes just like he had all the cool stuff, and he
Yeah.
was on his own or whatever.
Yeah,
sometimes
he didn't have to have a chaperone.
Yeah.
True,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I met his mom a handful of times. She's
Yeah.
very
They're
sweet.
so sweet.
they're
So
great.
sweet,
They're
yeah.
great. But yeah, good times. Good times.
I had no idea you guys were playing video games and stuff.
Oh yeah. What did you all do in between, like on breaks and stuff with the girls?
I just have pictures of us like sitting on that random couch outside, just
Random
talking.
couch outside.
There was, like-
Exactly. I was gonna say exactly that. You guys were talking.
Talking.
You guys were learning how to communicate and building relationships.
Yeah.
And the men were
no.
doing an activity and
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
talking to each other
right,
about
right.
anything.
That's how it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so now you are a realtor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I get to
Yeah.
know.
Well,
Are you acting?
Shame on me.
Are you acting as well?
I haven't. I was doing that for a while. I'm currently not. I'm not going to say never again,
Mhm.
Right.
but that's just not the focus right now by
Yeah.
any means. Was doing a number of projects, and I was at a point where I'm like, you know what? Like, I have so much fun doing this, and I also want to help take care of our family.
Yeah.
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 At a certain point. And so transition into residential real estate. I got my license like 2018 or something like that,
Mhm.
and been doing it ever since.
Cool.
Yeah.
Has the Ethan Kraft legacy been able to help you at all? Because like I feel like
That's
there
a
are
good
so many
question.
people who'd be like, I want fucking Ethan Kraft to be my realtor.
Yeah,
Are
I
you
want
kidding me?
Ethan Kraft. I want to buy a home from
Or
Ethan
would
Kraft.
they?
Well,
That's
true.
that's the thing. Is like, because I would get asked, dude, so many times. That was one of the top questions I would get asked.
Yeah.
When people would recognize me, especially, well, I guess more so being younger. They go like, "Are you Ethan Kraft?" And be like, "Yeah." Like, "Are you really that dumb?" I can't tell you how many times I've been asked, like, "Are you really that stupid?"
Are you sure you can write this contract?
And I would just say yes. And then they go like, really? And I'll be like, yes. Move
Great.
along.
Honestly,
great. Happy?
When I interviewed you on my Instagram Live, I hadn't seen you in so long, and since you were probably a teen,
Yes.
and so I was like, wow, he grew up to be a very intelligent
Mhm.
kid. I mean, you probably always were,
Facade
but
is working. Facade
he's-
is working. No, and that's an interesting question. I do have a hashtag of Ethan Craft Houses.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
That's so good.
That is it's brilliant.
So you can find me that way, or Hey Clay Realty on the
Okay.
Instagrams as well. And I feel like a lot of our clients, like there have been times where some of them have no idea who I am,
Yeah.
depending on like the demographic
Yeah,
that we're
yeah.
working with. But some have like after a number of showings, been like
They
at the very
figured
end
out.
of a couple of the day, be like, "I'm so sorry, I had to ask, but were you?" And I'm like, "Yes." They're like, "I knew it."
Yeah, yeah.
And it does increase the bond because it's weird because I think I feel the same way about when I was on the show as I do now about working in real estate, or even like coming back into acting. Where like I didn't want people's knowledge of me or interest in me being that character be the entry point into a relationship because it puts up a filter to our relationship
Yep.
that could potentially be like less genuine otherwise.
Yeah.
But especially if I'm the one that leads with it,
Mhm.
that can put a taste on the relationship as well. If I'm marketing like, "Hey everyone, I'm Ethan Craft. Don't you want to
Yeah.
don't you want to the show with Ethan Craft?"
Yeah.
As opposed to like, "Hey, like I'm a realtor and I'm really good at it."
And then later on, they
here are the
find
reasons
out.
why. Like, and if you'd love to work with us, we'd love to work with you. And they say, like, absolutely, I'm working with you because you're a good realtor.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're Ethan Craft?
Oh my
Rad.
God. This
I'd
is
much
like what
rather
we were
have it
talking about
that
with
way.
directing
So-
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a pro and con because we're also supposed to be really good at marketing and like getting our faces out there
Yeah.
Right,
and like
right.
bringing in people's eyes and interests so that we do have those conversations. So you could say that I'm an idiot for not using it more, but I've always had more desire to have more weight in attracting people because of the skill set, not because of the
and
persona.
that's just admirable though. That's
Yeah.
the thing. I mean, because you wanna lead with your skill and everything above just the notoriety or something. Yeah, I get that. If you had to find a home for Ethan Craft, where would you put him? What property would you bring to him?
Oh man, I mean Ethan. Well, I mean this kind of ties into conversations that I was having with people about the Lizzie McGuire reboot.
Yeah,
and the thing that I. If mourn is the right word about that was that I was just so curious to find out where he was in life.
you know how episode 2 of the reboot ended, right?
No, I know nothing, Jake.
Man,
I know nothing.
Man.
I wasn't sent to. We were. I think I had a table read scheduled for January 15th.
Yeah, that would have
And
been
it was
nice.
like January 13th.
Yeah.
And I still hadn't received anything.
Yeah,
And I talked to my manager and I was like,
you
hey,
and me
like,
both.
I don't want to push buttons here. Like they're doing their thing. I'm sure they're on top of it. Also, I feel like I should have gotten something by now. Something's up. And then there was an article that like 2 friends forwarded me about some showrunners being left behind.
It was a crazy time.
Article. It was a wild west of a time.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh man, this is classic showbiz.
And then COVID happened.
Then COVID happened. Wow.
Yeah.
I think he'd be West Coast.
West Coast.
Coast.
Okay.
California, Southern California.
Yeah.
Could be a Manhattan Beach, Venice guy.
Okay.
That's where I would go because I mean he did like the dirt biking and things, but he also did
he's got
skateboarding,
3-car garage at
probably
least.
surfing. Yeah. But I don't think he would have let it like got to his head necessarily.
Okay.
Like he wouldn't like show it around in a way where there'd be like a fine line, I think, because he'd just be like genuinely excited to like check this out. Like, isn't this cool?
Yeah.
But like not in an I'm better than you way.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like let's enjoy this together.
Yeah.
Let me share it with you.
Yeah.
Kind of way. But I think it'd be nice. Like, or he could just be at an apartment ripping bongs. I don't know. Who knows?
I was thinking that. I was thinking maybe just like a bachelor pad. Like
Yeah. I love that right now we're talking about just 2 vastly different like ends of the road. But it's either one.
Gone either way.
It's either way.
I don't know if
there's a
no middle
road.
ground.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's a middle road there.
Yeah. Okay, so the outdoor courtyard of the school, Lizzie's school, that was just in front of the dressing rooms.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. And they would.
I saw that. I saw in the courtyard and I was like, oh, right.
Yeah, they would roll out this like fake turf to be the grass, and then they would put the posters up everywhere. But all those doors and windows that you see, like our school, the school was in there.
How do you think they got the budget for that green screen, Jake?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. They were scrappy. All right?
They were.
They were very scrappy.
Power to them.
They made it work.
We were talking too about the quality of the show. Going back and actually just watching like the visual quality, not realizing how like it was 16 millimeter film. Like it looks weird on a 4K screen now.
Yeah.
I was rewatching and I was telling him, I was like, is it blurry?
Yeah.
It's my TV.
Yeah.
And then when they went to the neighborhood, and it looked like they were just filming on a handheld.
It was so bright.
Yeah.
So, why was it so bright?
The exposure was a little off. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And I'm also just now noticing that. Okay, so Matt's friend Oscar, Matt didn't have a ton of friends. Matt didn't have. He had Lanny. He had
that
Oscar.
He invited over.
That he invited over.
Yeah,
and Melina. We haven't seen Melina on here, but Oscar seems to only repeat just certain words that Matt says. Lanny does not speak, although we've talked about they have some kind of psychic connection there. But obviously, I think they were doing this as a ongoing kind of gag, but without realizing it, they are being pretty representative here of people who have limited communication skills.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's not a maybe. Like there are people with limited communication skills that are being on TV, so I guess
but
that's
it was totally unintentional. But I'm glad that we actually, because I only realized this now in this day and age.
Yeah. They just didn't address that back
they didn't.
then. So it was like, this is how some kids are like, but we don't really have an explanation for it. We're just
And then Melina was just bossy. Also, in this, I do want to point out that Matt and Oscar are just an absolute menace to society, and I love it.
When
they
he
have no
stole
chill.
the groceries, I was like, what?
Yeah. I was like, why did they do that?
They were helping.
They were helping her across the street. But this goes into why communication is so important.
Exactly.
You got to speak your intentions.
Exactly. All right. Can we talk a little bit about the digital bean?
I love that set.
The digital bean set was.
I loved that set.
It was like a culmination of everything 2000s.
Yeah.
Just put into a room.
I was stoked every time I got to film.
Same. I loved
just
it.
all these neon lights. It felt kind of cyberpunky.
Yeah, it did.
In a way.
Really. Yeah.
There was all the purples and yellows.
Yeah.
And
All of the purple. But did you ever wonder why all these like 11, 12-year-old kids were out to eat alone?
The owners of the digital bean must be so pissed.
Like, how did they
There's just all these middle schoolers, and they're constantly getting into hijinks and like spilling things.
Yeah.
And notice, like, Ethan and Adam didn't even buy anything.
No,
they didn't. They just hang out there.
They showed up to just sit down and do. While Adam, Gordo is getting paid. Like he's going to their location to get paid,
to tutor,
to work, and not buying anything. Not good.
Yeah, very strange.
And
my mom would be like, "Where are you?" Like, I was just like, "Oh, just at this restaurant, hanging out."
The digital bean, Well, we don't drink coffee, but we drink the juice. It's very strange.
It is very weird.
It's also funny that it's the digital bean, but were there like computers?
No, there were not. There was nothing digital about it there.
And like it
was
would make
more
sense if it was a later decade where people would go to cafes with laptops.
Yeah.
Right.
But laptops weren't a thing.
No,
at
definitely
that age.
not.
So what a name.
Yeah. It was before its time.
Now it's
great.
It's a
makes
great
sense.
really makes sense.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't make as much sense
Actually,
apart from just the vibe.
Yeah. I wonder what the digital.
I remember seeing some MacBook though, and I don't know if that was in the digital bean. Not a MacBook. It's an iMac like computer with like the
big
colored
one. Yeah,
with the colored back.
We talked
of
about
like
those.
the massive TV monitor.
Yeah, it looks like a little TV.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to know if someone has actually opened a business named the Digital
The Digital Bean.
We're about to go
There
on
has to be.
Google, Yelp.
There has to be. I'm not seeing anything. I'm just seeing a lot of Blue Bottle.
Oh my.
Well, maybe Disney owns that name or something.
No, there's no way. There's no way.
What if you go to like digitalbean.com?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Go to
Okay.
Digital Bean Cafe digitalbean.com and digitalbeancafe.com.
Okay, legitimately, the site is thedigitalbeancafe.com.
There you go.
Oh, and it's like a tech company.
It's like tech or something.
That's terrible.
This has
And it's
nothing
called-
to do
Oh my gosh.
with coffee.
with coffee or with Liz
So
McGuire.
do you think it is a wink at the show?
I think maybe somebody was a fan. And
Yeah.
were like,
Somebody in
I'm
there,
gonna
they're
call
like,
my
you know, it's
business
so
the
funny
Digital
if
Bean.
we called it the Digital Bean Cafe, but had it be a marketing firm.
Has
Great, guys.
nothing to do
Great.
with coffee, anything like that.
Gross.
Wasted opportunity. But in the cafe, Lizzie helps Ethan by doing cheerleader math.
Yes.
Well, that was at the school, I think.
The cheerleader math? No, that was at the
That
cafe.
was at the cafe.
That was at the cafe?
Yeah.
I totally missed that. Sorry, I was doing some work while we were watching. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. So they all just happened to be there.
Right.
Oh yeah, because then all the lights all dimmed and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
They all
yeah.
looked dark and spotlights came up.
and also the fact that Ethan Kraft had the power of just Lizzie would say, Ethan needs cheerleaders, and then just cheerleaders would come out of the woodwork.
But
Yeah.
hang on, I want to take a step backwards
Okay.
because there was a moment where I need scrunchies. Lizzie says when
Yes,
she's teaching.
that was at school,
That was at school.
Yeah.
And all the girls just kind of look over. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no.
All of a sudden, Ethan needs hair scrunchies. Bling, boing, 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 boing,
Yeah,
and they're all coming on
scrunchies
over.
that you can.
And then same thing, Ethan needs cheerleaders, and
Yeah.
they all show up. So
Yeah.
what's up, ladies? Why
Yeah.
can't we just show up for ourselves?
Yeah,
Why
it's
can't
so
we show up for each other?
It's very true.
It's so
it's
Why
very
true.
true.
Why
Come
why
on.
wasn't Lizzie in which I understand it's a character thing. No,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
everyone was friends
Yes.
with Lizzie on the show,
Yeah.
but let it be a lesson for
But
us in some sort of
Yeah.
metaphor.
There you go.
We
See?
were talking about that. There's always lessons
There's
on
always
on these
lessons on the show.
episodes.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
always a lesson.
Yeah. Yep. I don't think they were teaching that lesson, but
weren't,
they
but-
should have been. They
Yeah.
should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Lizzie calls for cheerleaders. They all show
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
And I think my favorite line from that is 2/2 equals Rhonda.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Rhonda is such a random.
It's a very
You know what's
random
funny?
name.
I never saw a single cheerleader.
Oh, really?
They
It was all
filmed
the
that.
other angle.
They filmed
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah.
They filmed all the cheerleaders separately from filming our side of things.
That's
Yeah.
so
I
funny.
remember reading the script and I'm like, Rhonda's probably pretty hot. and being really excited to like see who Rhonda would be.
Yeah.
And then I realized that I wasn't gonna see Rhonda. And
Oh
I was like,
my
man.
damn.
God.
So like
That's so funny.
The episode came out and like I was like, what's she gonna look like? And I was like, okay.
Rhonda.
Hacky sack.
Yes.
That was just something that Adam just did.
It was so indicative of the time. Like everyone was doing hacky sack, and
Perfect skill.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I remember being so jealous of anyone that could do it because I could
Yeah,
not.
I couldn't do it either.
But it looked so cool
It did.
to just
It
kick
did.
that little sack of beans.
Yeah. Please don't.
What's
Please
that,
don't
rice?
repeat that
What is it?
out of context.
Actually developed in Mexico, filled beans and rice.
But yeah, Adam was really good
He
at
was
doing
very
a
good at
hacky
it.
sack, and he was just always doing it, even like off camera.
Yeah.
So I guess they just incorporated it into the show and
Yeah,
just
I
let
would
him do it all
always-
the time.
I would
Yeah.
always see him doing hacky sack,
Yeah.
but he was able to like talk on the phone in
Yeah,
that
that's
scene and
right.
still do it. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
I could barely walk and talk.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really hard.
Yeah. And then the bandanas that you were saying.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bandanas
There
in
were
the show in general
so
too.
many great bandanas in this episode. And the show was so fashion forward. I mean, they were all bedazzled. She looked like it was like J-Lo's first music video. I forget. You know what I'm talking
yeah.
about?
Yeah.
It looked a little bit like that, and I loved. I mean, that was just such a great era.
Yeah.
And then even Lelaine had like a little knitted cap on,
Yep.
all the head stuff, all the
Yeah.
hair.
A lot of
butterfly
hair
clips.
accessories in the
Mhm.
show in general.
hmm
Really
I loved it.
impressive.
Butterfly clips.
I wore-
Butterfly clips.
I wore butterfly clips like every episode I did, and I was really wearing them like in life, so
Yeah.
I loved it.
I feel like you can't do a Google image search for butterfly clips and there not be a picture from Lizzie McGuire
From Lizzie, I'm
on
sure.
like the first page.
I'm sure it was such a fashionable show.
Did you get to keep any of your wardrobe?
Any of my butterfly clips?
Yeah.
I did. I got a
Okay.
couple long sleeves. I
Okay.
kept a few puka shell necklaces, probably. Few rings. Yeah, there's a couple jackets, some random stuff that
Okay.
at the end, got to got to take home.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my dad wears a couple of them, or my mom wears a couple of them these days.
That's great. I feel like later on, and especially even on the movie, Ethan was like more skateboarder kind of. You had a skateboard in Rome.
I had to skateboard across a room.
Yeah.
While doing my lines during a part.
Was that like in the script, or was that just you?
I think that was in the script.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they. Trying to think how they would know that I could skateboard. Yeah, it was on my resume. Maybe that's how. Special skills includes longboarding.
What is on your special skills on Actors Access? What do you have on there?
Oh God, a bunch of lies.
Horseback riding. Anything that I can like
you do
learn
bareback riding
at a novice level in 3 days.
Yeah,
I have on there.
Exactly.
I think I had like horseback riding, scuba diving.
Has anyone ever
polo.
like called you on it and be like, hey, we've got an audition, we need someone who's perfect at scuba diving?
I will say I had a conversation, this is like in my adult life or in my 20s, and I had a buddy that was talking about a development of a show that was going to involve scuba diving, and I literally went out and got like PADI certified.
Oh,
that's
my
great.
God. Well, that's
good. To be ready for the opportunity should it come my way. Didn't get an opportunity to audition for it, and so just spent
but
almost $1,000 on the certification equipment and never went out once.
You've never gone scuba diving?
Never gone.
It's fantastic.
I love it.
I love it.
I'm sure it is.
Just don't do scuba diving here. Don't ever scuba dive in California because it's like the worst experience.
The worst.
Yeah.
It's dark. Nothing there.
Exactly.
My agent called me last year, like the beginning of last year, and she was like, "Do you play tennis?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Sure.
Which like I hadn't in like 15 years, and I didn't even know what it was for. She was very vague. And,
I know what it's for.
And then I auditioned and booked this role, and she's like, "Okay, this is a movie. It's executive produced by Venus Williams," and I was like, "What?" So I called my friend, and I played tennis, but just not at a competitive level, and not in a while. And so I got with my friends.
Like you could play tennis.
I got with my friend's coach in California, and then it shot in Vancouver. So then there they put me in tennis lessons as well. So it all worked out.
Great.
But
hilarious. I love that.
You exaggerate. They always get you.
It'll happen.
Yeah. They incorporated skateboarding into that scene. I don't remember how they decided to do that, and I got asked a lot. Were you really skateboarding? Because I could have been on like a track thing.
Yeah, exactly.
They were just pulling back and forth. But I was actually having to. But the funny part about that scene is that they were filming, like I think through like the doorway into this room, and I think this was in Italy, perhaps. And the width of the room was not very wide. So when I would get off camera, like I'm at the wall. Yeah. So it'd be like, say the line, rolling, stop. Have to like hug the wall, turn around, get back on the board, and like push myself.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So like every time I'm getting to the edge of the frame, like that's the room. It's stopping right there, which is funny to think that like that's how I was just enjoying my free time. Yeah. That Ethan was just skateboarding 9 feet back and forth.
All right, I think it's now time to go to questions from the audience. I mean, a lot of people want to know, like, what was your favorite episode to film? Which do you have one that was your favorite episode to film? Was that this one or
this? No, I think the one that I remember the most of is the one. I don't even know what the name of it was or what the whole plot was, but there was like a prom situation, and I was going to go with Miranda, but then there's this other random girl there at school too, and there's this dance, and it said in the action line when we're at the dance, it just Ethan dances like a madman.
Oh, I remember this.
And that's all it said,
and you just killed it.
And I cut a rug, man. Cut a rug, and
you cut the hardwood floor.
Rug, yeah, I actually did. They had to tell me to calm down because my feet were making way too much noise for the sound.
Oh my
God. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think someone made a very funny cut of that somewhere on YouTube. But
I'm sure
that was a good time. So as far as like episode goes, I don't know, but like that, I had fun doing that.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite person, not cast, but on the crew? Who was your favorite person from the crew that you remember?
Gosh, man, that's tough.
I know. We had a lot of really cool people as crew.
Man, that crew was so awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, look,
I don't know anyone's last name.
It's fine.
There's
it's
a guy
fine.
named Paul.
Paul, the prop guy.
Paul!
Yeah,
He was cool.
He would
was cool.
give me guitar lessons.
Oh, that's cool.
He introduced me to Monty Python, Holy Grail.
There you go.
Like,
okay,
I owe a lot to that man.
Yeah.
That's so
Paul,
sweet.
Yeah.
You are not listening to this, but if you're out there, man, yeah, I really think fondly of you, dude.
Yeah.
You're a homie. Really appreciate it.
Paul was cool. Do you have someone?
No, I mean,
Okay.
I everyone was really cool. Paul was cool. I honestly liked our teacher a lot.
Okay.
David. He was.
We talked about David the other day. How about David? David basically just didn't
He
do
just
anything.
let us do whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He let us do whatever we wanted. I
Yeah.
thought he was cool. I thought everyone was, and then he would set up those softball games with Even Stevens people.
I never went to one of those.
I was invited.
I didn't go to them either, but I remember he would set them up, and yeah, he had a lot of fun.
How about
Writer's room.
Writer's room? Okay.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Nina.
Jeremy and Nina.
Yeah, they
great.
got married during our show, I think.
And Nima.
Nima, sorry. Thank you.
So you had Jeremy Bargle, who was one of our writers, and you had Nina Bargle, who was one of our writers, brother and sister team. And then Jeremy met his wife, Nima, who was one of the wardrobe stylists
There you go.
Oh wow!
on the show, and
There
they
you
got
go.
married. Yeah.
That was it.
Yep. How about, because from all of our directors, are there any directors that stand out to you? So, I mean, we had a ton of great directors.
Well, was it Savage?
Savage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Savage
that's
was
the one that I'll
fantastic.
remember
Savage
the
Steve
most.
Holland.
He's Savage.
Savage Steve Holland?
Oh, I thought you were talking about like Dan Savage.
No.
I was like,
This
I
is
don't
the
remember
other Savage.
that.
No. Savage was a nickname.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What was the story always of like why he was named Savage? I think it was like when he was a kid, he was like playing soccer and he just like kicked a kid in the face.
Oh my god.
And the name stuck.
And the name stuck. It's a great story to tell children on a children's show that you're directing.
Gotta
Like,
make a
hey,
name
yeah,
for
I kicked a
yourself.
kid in the face. My name's Savage. The evil shoe baron is the one who steals all of Lizzie. The evil shoe baron is the one who steals all of Lizzie's shoes. It was Matt. It was Matt and Oscar. They stole the shoes. But you all have siblings. Did they ever do anyone like that?
My sister did the craziest things. When I tell you, but outside of like stealing clothes and she did something once that we still laugh about because we're like, how weird. She took a stool and she put lipstick on and she was my little sister.
Yeah.
And she started kissing the walls around the house.
Oh.
And then my mom was like, who put lipstick all over the walls?
You mean she would stand on the stool to kiss the wall?
Yes.
To
and
make it higher
I
up.
had to put that together for a second.
Implanted
Yes.
Oh my
on
gosh.
you?
And she was like, well, I can't
Clearly
reach.
this wasn't.
I can't reach. And my mom was like, so weird. My mom was like, Davida, why did you do this? And I was like,
It wasn't me. Yeah, okay. Well, who was it? Her? Yeah, right.
I would never do something like that. And she was
Well,
like,
clearly
I
you
don't
did it,
believe.
though.
Yeah, I
Wow.
don't believe. So she stood, and then later she admitted, like down the line,
20 years later.
yeah, that she stood on a stool. And I was like, that is psychotic. Like a little psychotic.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Dana, she remembers.
Oh gosh, because did you?
What?
No, because you don't. I have two older brothers. So I was the young one.
So you were
Yeah.
the menace.
I was the little guy
I
doing
have
the
two
menace.
half siblings, but they're much older.
Right, yeah. They're half siblings as well. One's 5 years older. One's 19 years older.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And so I only actually lived with the one that's 5 years older than me. And if anything, I was the annoying one for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would do stuff like hide things or kiss walls. But I mean, I just like to hang out with him a lot and like watch him play video games a ton. But sometimes it would annoy him. He would threaten to throw things at me. Like he would be like, I'm going to throw my alarm clock at you. And I get freaked out, but he'd just throw like an empty Tic Tac box at me. And I would think that it was still the alarm clock, and it would scare me so bad. But yeah, I should ask him. Hey, Devin,
what did I do?
Yeah.
What did I do?
Let me know. What was it? I know I did something. I would often break our computers and things.
Oh, no.
But like not like tossing them around the room.
Right.
I would just be using them.
Like
and,
you're modding them
It was a
in some
joke
way,
that
or-
I had a curse.
Yeah.
Like I would just be doing whatever,
Oh.
and it would just break. It would just shut down, and programs wouldn't load.
Yeah.
And I would be like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "I didn't do anything." And he would say, "Curse," and point at me because I was cursed. I still am to this day with the electronics. I don't know what it is.
I get a lot of flack still to this day of people saying I had a younger sibling and they basically just copied everything that you did on the show and they made my life a living hell.
That's so funny. You did do a lot of wild stuff.
I'm sorry, but also I'm not really that sorry. That's the way it goes.
You're just trying to get paid,
I'm just
man.
trying to get paid, man.
As a
You know?
9-year-old.
just
trying to make that money.
Just day in, day out.
I'm just trying to
At
get
10 years old, trying to make that bag,
paid.
all right? It's not my problem.
Hate the game. No, that's so funny. Yeah, that's an interesting thing just about entertainment in general.
Yeah.
About the characters that we see out there and being like, oh, like this shouldn't be on television because people are going to model this person. It's
We
like, so are
talked
we
about
going
this,
to
yeah.
pretend that these people don't exist?
Yeah.
Where do we draw
is
the
that
line?
the solution then?
Yeah.
So are we? I think it depends on what the moral of the message is, and I think that's more on the parents. Than on the content
I
of
think
the
so.
show.
Definitely is. 'Cause
I think so.
We were talking about there was a penny gag when on an earlier episode where Matt is trying to fake being sick. So what he does is he has to like fake like having a fever. So he puts a
Oh.
penny in his mouth and he holds the thermometer up against the penny, which looking at your face, how does that work? We don't know how that works exactly. Regardless, it became a Mandela effect because after like it aired for a little while, they cut it because evidently some kid like choked trying to copy it, and then they
choked on a
switched it to
penny.
like a flashlight. So where do you draw the line of like, yeah, don't put a penny in your mouth and try to copy this?
Okay, like that's something where it's like, okay, well, it's on the parents and not the kid. Like, sometimes you're a kid, you just see stuff. You're not going to talk to anybody about it. You're just going to go do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you see a penny, be like, I'm thinking thoughts, and I'm trying to see if it'll even work. I'm
So-
not even trying to trick anybody.
Yeah.
I just want to see if it'll work.
So is it the network or like the show's responsibility to like, okay, no, we can't do anything that
I'm
anyone's going
sure
to try to
that
replicate?
there are departments that have evolved
Oh, for sure.
from the history
Yes.
of these incidents
Yes.
that can go through a list of
Yeah.
yes, no, 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 yes, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
These are the things that you cannot do, should not do. This is why. Or it doesn't even matter why. Just trust us. Don't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dang.
So this is also another thing where it's the younger generations are not going to understand this reference, and probably some of the kids of that
generation,
generation
yeah.
did
Didn't
not
get
get the
it.
reference. But animated Lizzie does a Mia Hamm moment call out where like
Mia
she does
Hamm
the thing.
is not a brand of processed meat.
It's definitely
that
not.
was a U.S. women's team soccer player.
Yes, and when they won, she did the thing where she pulled up her shirt. She has like a sports bra underneath, but it's like she slides on her knees and like, oh, I won.
Yeah, I think it was a penalty kick,
Okay.
perhaps.
Yeah.
I'm not confident. And it was to win like a really big game.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a World Cup or something like that. I'm sorry. And so there's this animated moment in the show where Lizzie does something that she's proud of, and she slides on her knees, and this animated 13-year-old Lizzie character pulls off her shirt. And
Now
granted,
it's just weird.
it would have been weirder if she wore a sports bra
Yeah.
underneath it. To
Yeah,
be
it's
fair,
true.
so they did have some conscientiousness and having just be like an undershirt under whatever her shirt was.
I'm glad that we
still-
didn't see animated midriff.
Yeah, animated.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tummy.
Yeah.
And what did so many men's players do when they would score
They
big
just
goals?
take their
rip off
shirts.
their
Yeah,
jerseys,
exactly.
and it's like this cultural thing that
Yeah.
I don't know what that urge is.
Yeah.
But it exists, and maybe just someone did it, and then it became like an homage to that person, and it just became this empowering feeling to just take off your clothes when you do something cool.
Every time I book a job, I just rip those pants right off.
Exactly. Yeah. I have them all. There's just Velcro holding everything together.
I'm on a list now.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a really interesting moment that upon seeing, again, my wife and I watching it this morning, of like Allegra being very confused as to like, why did she just take off her shirt?
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say it's mildly inappropriate. Like that's inappropriate.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
It would be
like,
very.
it's a homage to Mia Hamm. It's a U.S. soccer reference. It's okay. And she's like, okay.
Yeah, it'd be super strange if you didn't know the reference.
Exactly.
And a lot of people probably don't.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, come on. It's called Educating Ethan.
Yeah.
A call out to Educating Rita. Nobody got that reference.
That's so true.
I still don't get
I
that
don't either.
reference.
It's like a movie from the early 80s. It's
who's in it?
Who
knows?
It's a very good question.
Yeah.
But yeah, nobody was getting that reference then
That's so
or
funny.
now.
Did they
the way
use
it goes.
scrunchies to educate Rita?
I think they did. And cheerleaders too.
Really?
All right, I think that's going to do it for us on this episode of Living Lizzie. Clayton, where can people find you?
Instagram's probably the best spot. Hey
Fantastic.
Clayton and Hey Clay Realty. Check it out.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. Subscribe, do whatever the thing is on this. And if you're just listening to the audio portion of this, you're missing out on a huge part of it because you can actually see Clayton in flesh and skin. He's in the flesh.
Digital, yeah.
It's a lot of flesh. A lot of flesh.
Do you mean digital flesh?
Digital flesh. All right, thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Digital flesh is a new business.
The digital flesh is like the digital bean.
Yeah.
The digital flesh. I love it.